Welcome back to Let's Play Ace Combat X. So anyways, because we've completed the good timeline, I suppose, of your possible mission, so we are now going to basically move on consequence-free from Port Patterson, and so yeah, we've got enough money to finally buy a real-world plane in the F-16. So we're just gonna clean the shop out really quickly before we go take on the Gleipnir.
I just don't have anything funny to say about menus.
I was going to say, are you even still here?
I don't know, man. I'm like, yep, this is menus.
Yep. But anyway, so we're gonna get the full Ace Combat experience finally. We're gonna go take on a super weapon.
Gleipnir is now positioned above Terminus Island. It is using the island as a resupply base and as a staging point for long-range attacks on Stand Canyon. The troops stranded at Stand Canyon are vital to the upcoming assault on Santa Elva. But they're pinned down as long as the Gleipnir's assault is allowed to continue. Something must be done about the situation, and soon. Analysis of the SWBM attack at Cape Aubrey has shown that the shock wave of the missile dissipates before reaching ground level. Hoping to utilize this weakness, the remaining Aurelian fleet has gathered for a counter-assault on the airborne fortress. We have been informed that the assault will begin as soon as we are ready. How shall we proceed, sir?
So yeah, not a whole lot of targets to take out, but this is basically just one big giant, like, boss battle, so, again, we kinda know a little bit ahead of time what we're getting into here, but the Gleipnir has a couple of surprises in store for us, so we'll see.
You know, I never owned a PSP, so seeing the graphics on it make me think, well, this is actually kind of impressive. I don't know. It's been a very long time since I've seen a PSP.
And, like, that's the thing, like, graphics-wise, I'm actually playing this with a HD texture replacement package.
Oh, so my praise is actually unfounded.
Somewhat, and I'm also playing this on an emulator, too. Like, if I was playing this on, like, just a straight PSP, it would have looked really, really janky and grody. But still, this does show you technically what the PSP is capable of. Like, all the textures are actually just the same. It's just an HD upgrade of them. So,
oh, you mean the modeling?
Like, yeah, the modeling's the same.
Yeah.
The textures are basically the same, except like they're just a lot more cleaner. And that was done again specifically just for PPSSPP. But
yeah.
Yeah, no, like, this game actually does kind of hold up pretty well compared to the PS2 Ace Combats, at the very least.
You know what game does hold up as well if you start messing around with these graphics types of things, graphics mod for emulation and whatever?
Yeah.
Metroid Prime Hunters, for the original DS, there are ways to do stuff with it to, like, increase the internal resolution and texture quality by like 3 times, 4 times, something like that. Your computer's got to start getting a little bit stronger as you go, but that game looks pretty darn good after that.
Nice.
Yeah. It's really surprising how good it can look. I mean, it's like some sort of fancy shaders or whatever, like, texture pack. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I tried it out once and I was very surprised.
Huh. Because, like, yeah, like, with the shaders and everything in X, like, pretty much that's all stock what you're seeing here, so, like, this is just, again, like, the PSP emulator just interpreting it, but this is kind of what you would expect just on a straight stock PSP, like, you know,
yeah.
It was a surprisingly powerful little system for, you know, what it ultimately wound up being. It's just, unfortunately, no one really had any faith in it, so it was just a lot of people tended to shovel garbage onto it just to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Unable to track the glacier while it is using optical camouflage. Permits to lock on are unstable. You'll have to use your aim to take
It was basically like a PS2, wasn't it? A little bit less, but basically.
Yeah. Pretty much, yeah. Because, like, again, you'll start noticing this, like, when we get a little bit closer up to the, like, the actual Gleipnir itself and, like, get into the meat of this mission, but, like, just, like, the invisible rendering around it, like, that is actually, like, a texture shell around it. Like, it's actually hiding the full model behind, like, effectively, like, this just bubble of invisibility.
Oh, okay.
So, like, it's actually, like, really cool and, like, really, like, interesting how they did that. And again, just for a PSP game that you would normally, like, just expect to, like, every other company involved would just have, like, shoveled off, like, you know, a piece of garbage onto it.
What I do appreciate is, excuse me, like you said, this is an HD pack for this. It doesn't look like out of place. A lot of times you'll see like HD texture packs for games and things like that, especially for whatever reason people love to seem to do them for the N64, which the problem with HD texture packs on early 3D systems is they just look bad. They just always look bad. Like people make. You ever seen an Ultra HD texture pack for Minecraft?
No, I haven't, but
I'll have to show you after this. But
like I said, I'm getting pictures in my head of what it entails.
Like it becomes almost like photorealistic textures.
Oh God!
But the problem is, it's all on blocks. You know, like you might have all these photorealistic textures or whatever, but it's all on cubes. And like even the creatures in the game are still pretty much made out of cubes. So you have like this fucking realistic ass cow face that is like sitting on horrifyingly on this cube. It looks awful. And that's the problem with HD texture packs in general for a lot of these sorts of things, is that they don't respect the fact that you're working with low poly models.
Yeah, and like Super Ostrich was like really super faithful to like he knew like what the models were like, what the you know what how to update them, and like it is really faithful to what the game otherwise would have looked like. And plus, like, not only did he do the like all the plane models and like the big enemy models like the Gleipnir and whatnot, but he also did the you can see the user interface on the HUD. That's actually a graphical like texture model too. So he went ahead and like scaled that up and everything and made it like actually look pretty good on a PSP emulator and not like all blocky and janky and crap.
That's pretty good.
But yeah. But anyways, the thing I'm doing here is you'll notice there's a enemy that's up there at the very top corner of the map that is like just booking its ass out of the combat zone.
Yeah.
So that's the special ace that spawns in, where if you can basically take the Gleipnir's cloak down without like getting any damage to the allied fleet or whatnot, or no, I think there's some other.
He's a bonus objective, basically.
Basically, yeah. Like, yeah, this guy only spawns in if you complete that bonus objective. Same thing with the tanker back there that had the star on it, but normally this guy, Ghost, just spawns in at the center of the map and he actually flies towards you, but for some weird-ass reason he spawned in the upper corner of the map and decided to just book it out of the combat zone, so I had to chase after him before he despawned. But anyways, taking that guy down nets you a special skin for the F5E. Basically, a plane that
reminds me of like bonus objectives in the Star Wars games, the Rogue Squadron games. You had like the secret. It was like the weapon upgrades or whatever, and you'd have to complete certain objectives to get them to spawn sometimes, or Things like that.
Yeah.
I tell you, that's as close as I ever got to playing like a plane game.
Oh, yeah, it's a
Those games were
damn
a lot
good
of fun.
option, yeah.
Estimated time to impact, 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3,
I remember, I, like, rented, like, Rogue Squadron 3D, or,
The third one?
maybe, whatever one had the Naboo fighter in it, because it had just come out.
Yeah, that's Rogue
for
Squadron,
the-
the GameCube.
Yeah, no, it was
No,
the
N64, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it was in both, actually.
Yeah, because all I know is I just remember I rented one from, like, a Blockbuster Video or whatnot, and the number of people who...
You got close there.
Oh, yeah, that I got incredibly lucky. Like, this is a thing with me dealing with giant flying enemies, is just... I get some stupid close calls on a lot of this stuff. But anyways, just quickly back to Rogue Squadron. For some reason, just the number of people who had played it and rented it just somehow managed to corrupt the cartridge, and it damn near bricked my N64 when I tried to play it.
Thanks, LucasArts. Damn.
Yep.
That's an impressive.
airborne portrait is the launch.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have the N64 one. I played it a bunch. I rented it probably from Blockbuster a whole bunch. But I got Rogue Squadron 2, Rogue Leader, for the GameCube right around the time I got my GameCube. So right around at launch or so.
Nice.
And, God, that game still looks really good to this day. Like, you want to talk really good-looking GameCube games, you got Rogue Squadron, Rebel Strike, and, like, Metroid Prime.
Like I would
I'm sure
almost
there are
imagine...
more, but I don't remember all of them. Wow,
Also-
Jesus!
Yep.
I can feel the G's from here, good God.
And also here's another insanely close call, because once I take this target out, the missile that's in the air instantly diffuses.
We're a
so
military, not the fucking Blue Angels.
Yeah, well, it's Ace Combat. What are you expecting?
You're right. Asking for some realistic depictions of planes is too much.
It's like, look at the size of this thing. Like, this thing shows up in another mission, and it is literally like 10 times the size of the buildings on the map.
I watched my brother play parts of 7. Realistic depictions of planes. You don't say final mission. I won't say further, but you know what I'm talking about.
Oh God, yes.
2, 1.
Oh yeah, so
Wanna
basically,
talk French run. Anyway.
yeah, you had your very first encounter with basically Ace Combat's insane super planes. Thanks, Dr. War Crimes.
So is this thing just getting hit by like an orbital laser at this point?
It actually does have a big giant like ion cannon laser on its underside, but you don't really get to see it
I just kept seeing
in action.
like this big white bolt come down on it, but
that's its insane shockwave missiles, where like it launches a missile from its top side, and then you basically have to get underneath it before it explodes. Otherwise, yeah, it'll take you out.
alright, fair
Yeah,
enough.
now that the damn thing's dead, we can finally talk about how to actually fight it.
We've succeeded in destroying the Gleipnir's SWBM. The surrounding area is
What was
no
its
longer
weak point
in
again? I don't know. I made it through, but I don't know.
The Gleipnir escaped. But this victory
It's
has
fine.
been
All you need to know is that the next time we fight it at the end of this block of missions, it's going to be significantly weaker compared to how it was here.
Very good, I guess. But it's still going to be a big plane, one way or another.